Chapter 596. Zizhong. Your master. Upon hearing this, the red-haired man glanced at the young man. You are Swordsman, the red-haired man said in a flat, toneless voice. My wife has talked about you. You helped her when she was afflicted by the witch poison, so she owed you a debt of gratitude. Since you've come. The red-haired man took out an interspatial ring and handed it to the young man. There are many treasures inside it, which is equivalent to the possessions of a superior lord. That's my reward for your kindness. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang frowned, but he did not accept it. Dear, Lin Lan shot her husband a disgruntled look, then said, Master just came to visit me, he didn't come to ask me for treasures. What are you doing? Stop talking. Master helped me and gave me a new life, which can't be paid for with treasures. Really? The red-haired man replied as he threw a disdainful glance at Jian Wushuang. In the red-haired man's eyes, Jian Wushuang would not have paid a visit if he had not wanted something from them. He had seen too many people like this. He knew that his wife should pay a reward to her master, but things would be different if her master took the initiative and asked for something in return. The red-haired man also learned about how Jian Wushuang helped his wife. In his judgment, Jian Wushuang was probably a Saint Realm expert who was at stage 2 or stage 3 at that time. Therefore, he did not put Jian Wushuang in his eyes. He thought that all the possessions of a superior lord would be a pretty penny for Jian Wushuang and that it was enough to show his appreciation. Jian Wushuang was annoyed and amused when he saw the red-haired man's expression. He had intended to see whether his disciple was well, but he was treated as a beggar by her husband. Disciple, this is your husband? Jian Wushuang asked with a meaningful smile. Yes, he is Guiyang. Lin Lan responded awkwardly. Marquis Guiyang. Jian Wushuang was a bit surprised. He had heard about him. As one of the 72 marquises, Marquis Guiyang was irritable and straightforward. He had lived in this world for a long time and experienced a lot, so he thought less of Jian Wushuang. Marquis Guiyang, take back your interspatial ring. Jian Wushuang spoke. What? It's not enough. Marquis Guiyang asked. Jian Wushuang forced a smile. If he had not noticed Lin Lan's imploring look, he would have given Marquis Guiyang a slap. At this point, Guiyang. Lan Yu. A resonant voice reverberated. Marquis Guiyang looked up to the sky, said, Little Lan, my friend is here. Let's go to greet him. Okay. Marquis Lan Yu knew this friend and did not dare to take it lightly. Master, please wait for a moment, she said to her master. Go ahead. Jian Wushuang waved his hand. Little Lan, hurry up. Don't let him wait long. Marquis Guiyang urged his wife. Marquis Guiyang and Lin Lan glided away. After a while, Jian Wushuang saw them slowly approaching with a muscular purple-robed man. When he saw the purple-robed man clearly, Jian Wushuang's expression became a bit odd. Is it him? Unbelievable. Now, things are getting interesting. Jian Wushuang thought with a meaningful smile. In the sky, Marquis Guiyang and Lin Lan walked side by side. Bro Zizhong, it's all thanks to you. Because of you, my wife and I will be able to go to the Holy Ancestor Feast. Now that you've come here, we will definitely treat you well. Guiyang, we have been friends for many years. Such a little thing is not worth mentioning, the purple-robed man said with a faint smile, but speaking of this Holy Ancestor Feast, many experts will attend it and even some super experts outside of the Divine Land have been invited, so we're lucky to get a look at the super experts in the party. Ha ha, right. The Holy Ancestor Feast is the greatest feast in our Divine Land, Marquis Guiyang proclaimed. Lin Lan quietly listened to their conversation. The three of them quickly flew into the mansion. The moment they landed on the ground, the purple-robed man immediately recognized Jian Wushuang. He was stunned. He stopped as he widened his eyes, staring at the black-robed youth. An unprecedented terror struck his heart. Brother Zizhong, what happened? Marquis Guiyang and Lin Lan looked over at the purple-robed man with a puzzled expression. It's you, the purple-robed man murmured while pointing at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang also considered him with a grim smile. Marquis Zizhong, long time no see. You're still looking well. Marquis Zizhong. Su Ming had sent Marquis Zizhong to kill Jian Wushuang. Although Jian Wushuang had been much weaker than he was now, Marquis Zizhong had still been unable to dispatch him. As a result, Marquis Zizhong had been forced to retreat and was almost killed by Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang did not expect to bump into Marquis Zizhong at his disciple's mansion. There was a big grudge between them. Jian Wushuang. The grim-faced Marquis Zizhong fixed his eyes on Jian Wushuang as he perceived the Cloud Realm aura on this young man. He has made a breakthrough. Marquis Zizhong was rocked. Even when he was in the Saint Realm, Jian Wushuang had been able to repel him, so he must be even more powerful now after the breakthrough. Run! Marquis Zizhong escaped without hesitation, ignoring Marquis Guiyang and Lin Lan. Since you're here, why are you in a hurry to leave? Jian Wushuang's cold laughter resounded through the area. Chapter 597, The Bone Fusion Technique. Since you're here, why are you in a hurry to leave? Marquis Zizhong immediately perceived a surge of unprecedented killing intent sweeping toward him. Marquis Zizhong came to a halt as his eyes bulging wide with fear and he found himself wet with sweat. At this point, he felt like he would fall into the abyss if he took another step forward. Jian Wushuang snorted. His voice smashed into Marquis Zizhong like a hammer, causing the latter to spit out a mouthful of blood as he started to fall. Marquis Zizhong fell on the ground and knelt with an extremely pale look. Then he raised his head while staring at Jian Wushuang in terror. He knew Jian Wushuang had reached the Cloud Realm and that he was unable to match him, but he did not expect that his strength had improved to such an unbelievable level. The young man's killing intent was strong enough to make an 8-Cloud Realm Marquis unable to resist. He did not know that Jian Wushuang had used his aura to suppress and defeat Fire Ghost, who ranked first among the 72 Marquises, let alone him. Sir, please have mercy. Marquis Zizhong implored him, ignoring his own face. Upon seeing this, Marquis Guiyang and Lin Lan were petrified. What did they just witness? Marquis Zizhong begged for mercy? Master, Lin Lan looked over at Jian Wushuang in excitement. Your master, Marquis Guiyang was struck dumb. He had thought Jian Wushuang paid a visit to them because Lin Lan had become a Marquis, but now, Jian Wushuang paid no attention to this couple. He threw an icy stare at Marquis Zizhong. Zizhong, honestly answer my questions. If I'm in a good mood, I might let you go. Okay, I'll tell you what I know. Marquis Zizhong was as obsequious as a dog. He was clear that his life was in Jian Wushuang's hands. You followed Su Ming. Do you know where he is? Jian Wushuang asked. The intelligence documents he received did not mention where Su Ming had gone after he became the demon ancestor. Master Su Ming left for other plane worlds. As for his destination, I don't know that either, Marquis Zizhong replied. Left? Jian Wushuang frowned slightly. The reason why he returned to the Divine Land was to take revenge. There was no doubt that Su Ming was the enemy he hated the most. He did not expect that Su Ming had left the Divine Land. I've got a problem. Jian Wushuang was deep in thought. There are countless plane worlds in the ancient world. Who knows where he is? I'm afraid that I will have to spend more time and energy to find him if I want to have my revenge. He shook his head, saying, You just mentioned the Holy Ancestor Feast. What is that? The Holy Ancestor Feast is an ordinary party the Holy Ancestor hosts, Marquis Zizhong answered. It's being held to celebrate the Holy Ancestor's 2000th birthday. Many experts from the Divine Land will attend it, and it's said that even a few supreme experts from the outside worlds will come. Oh. Jian Wushuang was intrigued. In that case, I won't have to look for those supreme experts one by one. This will save me some time. Jian Wushuang looked over at Marquis Zizhong while asking, Can I go to the Holy Ancestor Feast? Yes, of course. Marquis Zizhong shook his head. Sir, I'll arrange it for you if you'd like to go there. Okay, if you do that for me, then we will have a clean slate. However, if you try to play some tricks, you'll die without a doubt. You know that no one in the entire divine land is able to prevent me from killing you, Jian Wushuang warned. I won't dare to. Marquis Zizhong, who had already been terrified by the young man's strength, immediately left to deal with it. Lana. Jian Wushuang addressed Lin Lan. Master. Lin Lan responded excitedly while her husband stood respectfully beside her. I need you to prepare something. Jian Wushuang whispered in her ear. After she was clear about her task, Lin Lan was stupefied. Go ahead. Jian Wushuang waved his hand. Lin Lan took a deep breath and then left to carry out the order. Jian Wushuang stood alone with his hands behind his back as he looked up at the sky, a blade-like smile growing on his face. 2000th birthday. He has lived so long. I guess it's about time for him to die. The Holy Ancestor Feast would begin in 3 days, so Jian Wushuang had remained in the Lin Lan's mansion during this period of time. Marquis Guiyang had treated Jian Wushuang with respect ever since he discovered the real strength of the young man. During those days, Jian Wushuang had been trying his best to improve himself. Aside from he occasionally giving some guidance to his disciple. He had just made a breakthrough, so there was plenty of room for improvement. He had reached level 10 of the bone fusion technique before the breakthrough. Now, as he had made it to the 9-cloud realm, it was possible for him to reach level 11 and 12 with his superb body. It went smoothly. He had mastered the last 2 levels within 3 days. No one had reached level 12 in the history of the monster continent, but Jian Wushuang easily succeeded. What a pity. My body has reached its limit. Although I've mastered level 11 and 12, it only helped me enhance body's strength, so my body hasn't become any stronger. Chapter 598, Holy Ancestor Feast. Jian Wushuang sighed in private. Flying to the 9th heaven was about reaching a flawless level in every aspect. As his body had now reached a flawless condition, he had to wait for a special chance to enhance the defense of his body. Which is to say, even if he could reach the 11th and 12th level at this moment, it would only increase his physical strength, not his body's defense. The Holy Ancestor Feast began. Holy Ancestor was a supreme being in the divine land, so no one would refuse to join the feast he held to celebrate his 2000th birthday. Among the 3 ancestors, except Su Ming who was in other plane worlds and could not be there, both Spirit Ancestor and Stone Ancestor were present at the feast. The other skyscraping realm experts also attended it. Dongming King and Xianxia, who had participated in exterminating Sword Ancestor and forced Jian Wushuang away from the divine land, were there for the feast as well. Following them were the 8 sovereigns and the considerably powerful marquises. In short, the feast was of the highest level in the divine land. During the feast, all the experts gathered at a large martial arts practice field. Holy Ancestor sat at the top of the field in his white robe. He looked holy while basking in the sun, beaming with joy. Ladies and gentlemen, I've traveled around the purple jade continent only to gain the purple jade wine at any cost. I've never tasted any wine better than it. Now, fill up your cup and drink with me, Holy Ancestor said and held up his cup as his voice echoed throughout the field. Spirit Ancestor, Stone Ancestor, Dongming King, and Xianxia, who sat beside him on both sides, all held up their cups. Those experts in skyscraping realm talked to each other. They had their own social circuit, which was also true for the sovereigns and marquises. The combination of the marquises and the Holy Ancestor's core disciples who were at the feast numbered in the hundreds. Among the crowd, Jian Wushuang hid his aura with his aura restraint skill and used a bamboo hat to conceal his face. Therefore, no one noticed him. Beside Jian Wushuang, Lin Lan, Marquis Zizhong, and Marquis Guiyang all sat perfectly straight at the long table. They looked at ease and even talked to other with a smile sometimes. But, in fact, they were quite nervous. They all knew Jian Wushuang's intentions and, in their opinion, it was a crazy idea. Those who should be present are all here. Jian Wushuang looked up at the top of the field, where over 8 skyscraping realm experts sat today. Among them were the 3 ancestors and 5 experts from other plane worlds. Outside of Spirit Ancestor, the other 7 people are my enemies. Jian Wushuang pondered. He had confirmed that Spirit Ancestor was not among the murderers of Sword Ancestor. He even learned that Spirit Ancestor used to get along well with Sword Ancestor. Moreover, Spirit Ancestor had protected Sword Marquis Mansion from being destroyed. He never even tried to force Jian Wushuang to speak about the location of Sword Ancestor's cave mansion. Therefore, Jian Wushuang regarded this ancestor as his benefactor. However, the other 7 people had been involved in both events. 5 of them are at level 1 of the skyscraping realm, while the other 2, Holy Ancestor and Dongming King, are at level 2. I'm strong enough to kill them all with my current power. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. A person's power differed in the skyscraping realm, so they were divided into 3 levels. Level 1 referred to the normal skyscraping realm. Most of the experts were at this level, like Blood Bladesman, who Jian Wushuang had killed, and most of the human temple masters. Level 2 referred to the superior skyscraping realm. Most people at this level had comprehended a Dao to a certain level and possessed some powerful skills. Temple Master Iceberg was at this level when Jian Wushuang killed him. As for level 3, only top experts could reach this level. They were excellent in comprehending the Dao and extremely powerful. The 3 monster emperors of Monster Continent, Temple Master Black Spirit, and Sword Ancestor were at this level. Normally, it was easy for those at level 3 to overpower those at level 2. The reason why Sword Ancestor had been killed by the dozens of experts at level 1 and 2 was because, before fighting with them, he had gotten seriously injured in the fight for the Ancient World token. However, he had been so powerful that even after his death, his murderers still did not get the token. Jian Wushuang believed himself to be a little more powerful than Sword Ancestor because he had reached the 9-Cloud realm and had strongest sword soul, along with many secret skills. He was among the stronger ones at level 3. With such power, it was easy for him to kill 7 enemies in the level 1 and 2 range. Lana. Jian Wushuang shot Lin Lan a meaningful glance. Lin Lan immediately stood up and walked to the center of the field. The drinking and chatting experts looked up curiously when saw Lin Lan's action. Marquis Lanyu, what's the matter? An expert asked her with a frown. Lin Lan did not answer him but looked up at Holy Ancestor. Holy Ancestor. Lin Lan called out and her voice echoed throughout the field. Holy Ancestor and the other experts sitting beside him immediately looked down at her. I came across a treasure by luck, but it's useless to me. Please allow me to present it to you as a birthday gift, Lin Lan said solemnly. Chapter 599, Jian Wushuang's Revenge. Oh! Holy Ancestor and the other experts all smiled upon hearing Lin Lan's words. They were surprised to know that she just wanted to present a gift. Your honors, look. Lin Lan managed to stay calm. She waved her hand and a coffin made of amethyst immediately appeared before everyone's eyes. Yes, the gift was a coffin. After seeing the coffin, Holy Ancestor's smile froze on his face. The whole place became dead silent. Lin Lan continued, I personally selected this gift for you, Your Excellency. It is made of refined amethysts and can prevent your body from decaying for 1,000 years. I'm sure you will be comfortable in it after your death. Holy Ancestor looked grim as he listened to these words. The other experts all looked at Lin Lan in astonishment. The coffin might be a treasure in a manner of speaking, but it should never be given as a birthday gift. Bastard! Fury got the better of Holy Ancestor and, with a pat, he smashed the table in front of him to dust. Right at this moment, Jian Wushuang suddenly took off his bamboo hat and stood up from his seat, with a long sword on his back. He walked slowly to the center of the field, while speaking, Holy Ancestor, it seems that you are unsatisfied with my disciple's gift. Don't be greedy. The others won't be so lucky as to receive such a nice gift, he continued. As the sound of his voice came to an end, he had moved into the center of the field. A moment later, he raised up his head and released an overwhelming killing intent that dominated the whole area like a dragon flying in the sky. The place fell into dead silence again. The atmosphere became frigid. The fine wine, food, and objects on the tables were crushed into pieces under this killing intent and water drops kept flying in all directions. The feast looked more like a funeral at that moment because of the depressing atmosphere. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Jian Wushuang. Holy Ancestor, Stone Ancestor, Dongming King, and Xianxia all gazed at him from their seats. Their eyes narrowed when Jian Wushuang revealed his face. Jian Wushuang. Holy Ancestor roared in an icy voice. Stone Ancestor and the others beside him, however, looked excited. It's him. He knows where Sword Ancestor's cave mansion is. Finally, he showed up. Haha, boy, tell me the location of Sword Ancestor's mansion and I'll spare your life. Those skyscraping realm experts all looked at Jian Wushuang with eager eyes, except Spirit Ancestor. His eyes betrayed his complicated feelings. Jian Wushuang smiled at them coldly. Those men are still coveting Sword Ancestor's mansion and ancient world token even while at death's door. Jian Wushuang shook his head. He had the heart-killing sword in hand and, behind him, the golden sword Soul Phantom rose up high to its limit. The phantom radiated a domineering and supreme sword essence that made the onlookers' hearts skip a beat. The Ancestor's eyes became sharp. They could tell that Jian Wushuang was a lot more powerful than before. Holy Ancestor, Stone Ancestor, Dongming King, Xianxia. Jian Wushuang called their names out, one by one. Do you still remember what I said last time on the outskirts of Sword Suppression Valley? After being asked, the ancestors could not help recalling what had happened in the valley. In fact, they never forgot this boy's words, the words that the poor boy had been forced to say by a dozen skyscraping realm experts. I'll never forget what you've done today, as well as how I was suppressed. Someday, when I come back, no matter if you're in heaven or hell, I'll kill you all. Wait for me. Those words had indeed felt threatening at the time, but as time passed they stopped taking it seriously. Now, Jian Wushuang really had come back for them. He can't change anything now that he's come back. He must have progressed a little during the last year. The ancestors still looked down on Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang looked at them emotionlessly as his killing intent reached its peak. I always achieve what I've said. So, today, since we are having a feast, I'll make your heads a cup and treat your blood as the wine. All of you must die. Jian Wushuang spoke firmly as if he was pronouncing their deaths. His voice echoed in the place for a long time. How arrogant! With the shout, a short man dived forward from his table. The man was called Xianxia, one of the 5 experts from the other plane worlds. Boy, let's see if your power matches your arrogance. Xianxia was surrounded by killing intent as he took out a purple longsword from somewhere. Then, he neared Jian Wushuang and thrust the longsword forward as well. The entire space was filled with a purple light. Xianxia launched a single blow, but there seemed to be thousands of sword shadows rushing towards Jian Wushuang. Seeing this, Holy Ancestor hurriedly shouted, Xianxia, be careful. Don't kill him. I know. Xianxia looked grim. Though he was targeting Jian Wushuang's chest, he had restrained his power for fear of killing Jian Wushuang on spot. Why hasn't this boy make a move yet? Is he paralyzed? Xianxia was amazed to see Jian Wushuang standing still while he was about to have a long sword pierce into his body. However, at the very next moment, Jian Wushuang moved. He simply swung his sword at Xianxia without any skill. Chapter 600. Sweeping away the enemies. There was an amazing power behind Jian Wushuang's casual strike, which finally collided with Xianxia's sword. Clang! When the two swords met, the sound of metal on metal echoed throughout the area as Xianxia's sword became covered with cracks. What? Xianxia was astonished by the cracks on his sword. His sword was a Dao weapon. How could it be cracked by Jian Wushuang's sword? As the cracks on the sword became wider, a sudden shattering sound dumbfounded him. The sword was split into 2 pieces. Xianxia could not believe what had happened. How could that be possible? He was so astonished that he could not even think. Impossible! Holy Ancestor, Stone Ancestor, and the others all widened their eyes at the scene as they felt a chill rising in their hearts. After breaking Xianxia's sword, Jian Wushuang continued moving forward to slash at him with all his power. Xianxia was unable to dodge the blow and saw a flash of sword light before he was cut into 2 parts as well, with his organs scattering onto the ground and his blood covering the floor. Xianxia, You're only my second target. Jian Wushuang glared at the dead body indifferently. His first target, Bloodbladesman, had been killed already. After killing Xianxia, Jian Wushuang looked toward Holy Ancestor and Stone Ancestor. Those two ancestors showed a grave expression while being watched. Jian Wushuang's weapon has to be extremely powerful to break Xianxia's Dao weapon and kill him. He just demonstrated the power of an expert at level 3 of the skyscraping realm. Level 3. The onlookers could tell that Jian Wushuang was at a level as powerful as Sword Ancestor. They had all witnessed how mighty Sword Ancestor was, so in order to kill him, they had joined hands with dozens of experts. Now, Xianxia's death left them with only 6 experts in total. Therefore, it was impossible for them to defeat Jian Wushuang with the remaining experts. Holy Ancestor, what should we do now? Stone Ancestor asked him in a low voice. It seems that we have no other choice but to escape from here, Holy Ancestor said unwillingly. They were unwilling to accept that the boy they had despised had grown so powerful in the last year. He had reached level 3, which few could achieve in the whole ancient world. As a result, Holy Ancestor, the 2,000-year-old super expert from the Divine Land, had to escape when facing such a young boy. What's worse, he might not be able to escape just because he wanted to. All of this added to his depression. Right then, a killing intent flashed in Jian Wushuang's eyes, which then fell on Holy Ancestor and Stone Ancestor, before he made a move and his intent boomed. Quick, let's block him together. Dongming King quickly shouted. His aura kept surging as his face twisted crazily. At such a crucial moment, he still had not given up on possessing the ancient world token. Idiot! Holy Ancestor shot Dongming King a cold glance before turning away without hesitation. Seeing this, Stone Ancestor tried to flee with him. Run! Run! The other skyscraping realm experts had finally seen through their situation. Not being idiots, they started running away in a disorderly fashion. In an instant, 5 of the skyscraping realm experts began escaping, all except Dongming King. The sight of this caused the experts in the feast to be dumbfounded. They. Holy Ancestor and Stone Ancestor, the supreme experts, are trying to escape without even fighting. Jian Wushuang is just a cloud realm expert, isn't he? How could he force so many super experts to flee? It was so unbelievable. Some experts were so astonished that they even thought they were in a dream. Master! Hands clenched, Lin Lan stared at her master with admiration. Marquis Zizhong and Marquis Guiyang, who had come to the feast with Jian Wushuang, both widened their eyes and could not help swallowing hard. Boom! A rolling blood river swept outward from Jian Wushuang and covered the whole place in an instant. I told you that none of you would escape from me. Jian Wushuang's voice resounded through the place as the heart-killing sword slashed out from his hand like a star crossing the sky. Dongming King managed to take a single strike from Jian Wushuang before being killed. As for the ancestors and the other experts who were trying to escape, they were slowed down by the blood river. What's worse, Jian Wushuang had quickly changed his target to them after he killed Dongming King. No! Those escaping experts looked pale. They knew very well that once Jian Wushuang caught up with them, they would definitely be killed. Run, run! They tried their best to run quickly, but 3 of them had already been killed by Jian Wushuang. Only Holy Ancestor and Stone Ancestor survived and were about to escape from the blood river. There is no escape for you two. Jian Wushuang released an outburst of killing intent. Though the 2 ancestors had made it out of the river and were running in different directions, Jian Wushuang was not going to let either one of them go. With a move, his body seemed to split for a second and 2 men appeared. One went after Holy Ancestor, while the other one followed Stone Ancestor. Many onlookers were stunned to see 2 Jian Wushuangs. There are two Jian Wushuangs.